Life is full of twists and turns. We face challenges, big and small, every day. It's easy to feel overwhelmed, lost in a sea of worry and fear. But there is a way to find peace, even amidst the storms of life. That peace comes from trusting in God's plan. When we surrender our worries to a higher power, we open ourselves to a deep sense of calm. This peace isn't the absence of problems, it's the presence of God's love carrying us through. It's knowing, deep in our hearts, that we are never alone. The numbers tell a story. Millions struggle with stress and anxiety. The American Psychological Association reports that stress levels are consistently high. Work, relationships, finances, the pressures of modern life take their toll. Anxiety disorders are the most common mental illness in the United States, affecting 40 million adults. These statistics paint a stark picture of the mental health crisis we face. But within these numbers lies hope. Studies show that faith plays a significant role in reducing stress and improving mental well-being. Trusting in God is not about wishful thinking. It's about shifting our focus. Instead of dwelling on our problems, we focus on God's power. We remember His promises, His faithfulness, His unwavering love. This shift in perspective is powerful. When fear threatens to consume us, faith reminds us that we are not in control, and that's okay. Because God is in control. He sees the bigger picture, the one we often miss in our worry. He knows the outcome, even when we can't see it. The Bible is filled with verses that soothe our anxious hearts. Be still and know that I am God, whispers Psalm 46 verse 10. These words remind us to breathe, to let go, to trust. Philippians chapter 4 verses 6 to 7 encourage us to bring our anxieties to God in prayer. When we immerse ourselves in Scripture, we find comfort and guidance. We are reminded of God's constant presence, His promise to never leave us nor forsake us. His words bring hope in times of despair, strength in times of weakness. Section 5. Emotional stability, the gift of surrender. Surrendering control is not a sign of weakness, but of great strength. It's acknowledging that we are not meant to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders. When we release our burdens to God, we find a freedom we never thought possible. This freedom leads to emotional stability. We are no longer tossed and turned by every wind of worry. We have an anchor for our souls, the unwavering truth of God's love. This anchor keeps us grounded even when the storms rage around us. Section 6. Mental health benefits, faith and resilience. Numerous studies show a strong correlation between faith and improved mental health. Believers often report higher levels of resilience, hope, and life satisfaction. They are better equipped to cope with stress, trauma, and loss. This is not to say that believers don't experience pain or hardship, they do, but their faith provides a framework for processing these experiences. They find meaning in their suffering, purpose in their pain. This perspective fosters resilience, allowing them to bounce back from adversity stronger than before. Section 7. Weathering the storm, faith as an anchor in crisis. Life throws curveballs. It's inevitable. We all encounter moments when the ground beneath us feels shaky and the future seems uncertain. These are the times when our resilience is put to the test. We will all face moments of crisis, times when the challenges seem insurmountable and the weight of the world feels too heavy to bear. It could be the loss of a loved one, a sudden illness, or an unexpected financial setback. These are the moments when our world seems to crumble around us, leaving us feeling vulnerable and exposed. The darkness can be overwhelming and the path forward may seem unclear. It's in these moments that our faith is truly tested. Faith is not just a belief, it's a deep-seated trust that there is a higher power guiding us, even when we can't see the way. But it's also in these moments that our faith can shine brightest. When everything else seems to fail, faith remains a constant, a beacon of hope that lights our way through the darkest times. When we feel lost and alone, adrift in a sea of uncertainty, our faith serves as an anchor, grounding us and providing a sense of stability. Our faith reminds us that we are not alone. It's a lifeline, a connection to something greater than ourselves, pulling us up from the depths of despair and giving us the strength to carry on. It pulls us up from the depths of despair, offering a hand when we need it most. Faith is the quiet voice that whispers encouragement when we feel like giving up. It whispers of hope when all seems lost, reminding us that there is always a reason to keep going, even when the road ahead is tough. It speaks of strength when we feel weak, empowering us to rise above our challenges and face them head-on with courage and determination. It reminds us that even in the darkest night there is a promise of a new dawn. The stars may be hidden by clouds, but they are still there, shining brightly. The sun will rise again, bringing with it new opportunities, new beginnings, and the chance to start afresh. Faith is the assurance that no matter how dark the night, the morning light will come. Section 8. Letting go, the challenge and reward of trust. Letting go is perhaps the hardest part of faith. It requires us to release our grip on the things we hold dear, to trust in something greater than ourselves. This act of letting go is not a one-time event, but a continuous journey, a daily practice of faith and surrender. We are wired to control, to plan, to anticipate. Our minds are constantly working, trying to predict the future and prepare for every possible outcome. This need for control can be overwhelming, and it often leads to stress and anxiety. But what if we could let go of this need for control and trust in a higher power? But trusting in God's plan requires us to relinquish that control. It means acknowledging that we don't have all the answers and that we can't foresee every twist and turn in our lives. It means believing that there is a greater plan at work, one that is beyond our understanding but ultimately for our good. It's a daily act of surrender, a conscious choice to believe that He knows what's best for us, even when we don't understand. This surrender is not about giving up or being passive. It's about actively choosing to trust, even in the face of uncertainty and doubt. This surrender is not passive. It's an active, dynamic process that requires our full engagement. It involves prayer, reflection, and a willingness to listen to God's voice in our lives. It means being open to His guidance and being ready to act on it, even when it's difficult. It's not about sitting back and waiting for God to fix everything. It's about taking responsibility for our actions and making choices that align with our faith. It's about being proactive in our spiritual journey, seeking out opportunities to grow and serve. It's about actively seeking His guidance, listening to His voice, and then having the courage to follow where He leads. This requires a deep level of trust and a willingness to step out of our comfort zones. It means being open to change and ready to embrace the unknown. And when we do, we open ourselves up to a life filled with peace, purpose, and joy that surpasses all understanding. This is the reward of trust, a life that is rich and fulfilling, grounded in faith and guided by a higher power. It's a journey worth taking, a challenge worth embracing, and a reward worth striving for. Section 9. Conclusion. Embracing God's plan, finding inner peace. The world offers many paths to peace, each promising fulfillment and tranquility. We often find ourselves chasing after these promises, hoping that the next achievement, the next relationship, or the next possession will finally bring us the peace we crave. But these worldly paths often lead to temporary satisfaction, leaving us yearning for something more, something deeper. True, lasting peace comes from a deep, abiding trust in God. It's a peace that is not dependent on our external circumstances but is rooted in the unwavering love and faithfulness of our Creator. When we place our trust in God, we tap into a source of peace that is eternal and unshakable. It's a peace that transcends circumstances, a peace that remains steadfast, even in the midst of life's storms. This divine peace is a gift that guards our hearts and minds, providing a sanctuary of calm in a chaotic world. A peace that guards our hearts and minds, shielding us from the anxieties and fears that often plague our daily lives. It's a peace that allows us to face each day with confidence and hope, knowing that we are not alone. It's the peace that comes from knowing deep in our souls that we are loved, cherished, and held in the palm of His hand. This profound sense of security and belonging transforms our perspective, enabling us to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. Knowing that we are loved and cherished by God gives us the strength to let go of our worries and surrender our fears. It empowers us to embrace the present moment with a heart full of gratitude and trust. So let go of your worries. Surrender your fears. Embrace the peace that comes from trusting in God's plan. This peace is not passive, it is an active, living force that propels us forward, guiding us through the uncertainties of life with a steady hand. Embrace the peace that comes from trusting in God's plan, for in His loving embrace, we find the assurance that we are exactly where we need to be, and that every step we take is guided by His wisdom and love. For in His loving embrace, you will find the strength to face any storm. This divine strength is not just about enduring hardships, but about thriving in the midst of them, knowing that God's grace is sufficient for every need. You will find the strength to face any storm, the courage to overcome any obstacle, and the unwavering assurance that you are never, ever alone. This courage is born from the deep conviction that God is with us, guiding us, and empowering us to rise above our challenges. The courage to overcome any obstacle, knowing that with God, all things are possible. This courage fuels our determination and inspires us to reach for our highest potential, confident that we are supported by a power greater than ourselves. And the unwavering assurance that you are never, ever alone. In every moment, in every situation, God's presence is with you, offering comfort, guidance, and an unending source of peace. Embrace this truth, and let it transform your life.